Welcome to Ancient Stoic Secrets, where timeless wisdom meets the unpredictable reality of modern relationships. Let me ask you something. Have you ever believed that pure love, all by itself, is enough to keep someone by your side? That if you give kindness, loyalty, and devotion without limit, the other person will see your value and never leave? It sounds noble, but life has a way of proving that reality doesn't always match the story we tell ourselves. Relationships today aren't held together by romance alone. They're shaped by presence, emotional influence, and a quiet control over what you give and when you give it. A woman's deepest attraction is rarely for the man who offers constant comfort without asking for anything in return. More often, she is drawn to the man she can fully predict, the one who keeps her leaning forward. Curious about what's next? The Stoics understood this centuries ago. True power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering your own behavior and emotions. In this video, we'll explore 10 subtle but powerful levers of human nature that make a woman more drawn to you without you ever chasing her. These aren't tricks, but truths. They work because they align with the way people are wired to respond. Today, we'll go through all 10, one by one. And as you listen, keep asking yourself, am I moving in a way that naturally attracts, or am I quietly eroding desire without even realizing it? The difference often lies in the smallest choices: how you respond to a message, how much of your story you reveal, how freely you give your praise. The Stoic path in relationships is not about withholding love or playing childish games. It's about self-respect, guarding your energy, and giving with intention. Because people value what they must earn. And when you live with quiet self-control, you stop competing for attention. You become the kind of presence that naturally commands it. So, let's begin. The first principle is as old as humanity itself. 1. The ancient fear of exclusion. Picture yourself thousands of years ago, living in a small tribe, being cast out, just a bruise to your pride. It's a death sentence. Without the group, you face cold nights, empty stomachs, and predators you can't fight alone. For women, whose survival historically relied more on social bonds than brute force, being excluded was especially dangerous. That deep, primal fear hasn't disappeared. It's still there, running quietly in the background of the human mind. Fast forward to today. We live in cities, not caves. We can order food in minutes, lock our doors at night, and survive without a tribe. But the brain's wiring hasn't caught up. That same instinct, the fear of being left out, still shapes how people feel and act. For a woman, being included means security. Being excluded, even in small ways, stirs unease. This is where many men lose their edge. If you're always available, replying instantly, showing up without her asking, you become predictable. Predictable turns into ordinary. Ordinary fades into invisible. She stops noticing you the way she once did. A Stoic understands the power of absence. He knows that presence, to be valued, must be balanced with moments away. When you step back, not in anger, not to punish, but simply to live your own life, you create space. In that space, tension builds. Curiosity stirs. She starts wondering, where is he? Has his interest shifted? Did I do something wrong? Those questions awaken the ancient instinct. I can't lose my place. This isn't about being cold or manipulative. It's about living a life full enough that you're not always instantly reachable. Let some messages sit. Take your time to respond. Let her miss you, if only a little. When your presence becomes a privilege rather than a constant, her attention sharpens. Absence, used with purpose, becomes quiet power. And a Stoic man knows. Power unspoken is often the most respected of all. 2. Speak to her emotions, not her logic. Here's where most men fail without even realizing it. They try to win a woman's interest by listing facts. I'm successful. I work for a top company. I have a great income. My life is in order. On paper, this sounds impressive, but in reality, logic alone rarely inspires deep attraction. Logic informs the mind. Emotion moves the heart. Think about it. You could stand in front of her and list your achievements like bullet points on a resume. She might nod, smile politely, and then forget most of it within minutes. Why? Because you were speaking to her intellect, not her imagination. People remember how you make them feel long after they've forgotten the details. Instead of saying, I'm a project manager, you could say, when chaos hits, I'm the one who brings calm. Instead of I'm in finance, say, I help people protect what matters most before it's too late. One is a fact. The other is a picture, an emotion, a reason to lean in. Women connect with the story you tell about yourself, not a rehearsed performance, but the way you frame your role in the world. Your words can either close the door on curiosity or leave it wide open. The Stoic man chooses to open it. It's not about lying or exaggerating. It's about sharing your truth in a way that engages the senses and stirs the imagination. A fact says, here's what I do. A story says, here's who I am. And here's the key. When you speak to her emotions, you're not just entertaining her. You're inviting her into your world. You're giving her a reason to remember you, to think about you later, to wonder about what else there is to know. A Stoic knows words are tools. Use them carelessly, and they fade. Use them with intention, and they leave a mark. 3. Guard the currency of validation. In the digital age, validation is everywhere. Social media has made attention cheap. A like here, a heart emoji there, constant comments from strangers. For beautiful women, this is daily life. Praise flows toward them like an endless river. Now here's the trap most men fall into. Thinking that more praise will make them stand out. It won't. In fact, it does the opposite. When you compliment too quickly, too often, or without reason, you blend into the noise. You become just another man adding to the flood. The Stoic man understands that validation, like gold, gains value through scarcity. What's earned is treasured. What's given freely is forgotten. If you handed someone a diamond every morning, it wouldn't take long before they stopped caring. The same goes for your words. This doesn't mean you should withhold kindness or act distant. It means you choose the right moment. Let her earn your praise. Let her wonder what you think. And when you do give it, make it specific, intentional, and real. That's the compliment she replay in her mind hours later. When your validation is rare, it carries weight. And when it carries weight, she values it. And the man who gave it, for stability, must dance with tension. Every woman wants to feel secure with a man, to know his words match his actions, to trust that he won't disappear when life gets messy. But here's the hidden truth. Safety without excitement eventually becomes boredom. If she can predict exactly what you'll say, what you'll do, and how you'll react every time, the spark fades. It's not because she's ungrateful, it's because human desire thrives on contrast. Even the calmest waters lose their magic if they never ripple. The Stoic man provides stability, but understands the need for surprise. It might be as simple as breaking the pattern, taking her to a place she has never been, planning something without telling her, or introducing a new experience that makes her see you in a fresh light. This doesn't mean creating drama or uncertainty about the relationship itself. It means weaving moments of unpredictability into the fabric of reliability. You remain the anchor, but you also know how to be the wave. Think about your own life. Have you become predictable? When was the last time you caught her off guard in a way that made her laugh, or pause, or lean in closer? Desire is kept alive, not by constant intensity, but by the rhythm between calm and surprise. A Stoic doesn't abandon the ship to prove a point. He changes the wind just enough to keep the journey interesting. 5. The quiet power of social proof. Humans value what others value. It's why restaurants look more appealing when the tables are full, and why a rare watch feels more desirable when people whisper about it. The same principle works in attraction, but most men misunderstand it. They think the way to win a woman is to give her undivided attention, to make it clear she has no competition. But when she knows she already has you, the sense of urgency fades. There's no challenge, no subtle reminder that you are a man other people notice and respect. The Stoic approach isn't about flaunting or making her jealous. That's insecurity. It's about living a life where other women, whether friends, colleagues, or acquaintances, naturally value your presence. A simple mention, "A friend gave me an interesting perspective the other day," is enough to plant the seed. She hears it, and without you pushing, her mind begins to calculate. Who is she? What does she have? It's not about manipulation. It's about showing, without trying, that your life is rich with connections, and that you are not a man sitting idly, waiting for her attention. When she senses that your time is shared with people who respect you, her own respect deepens. Ask yourself, do you project the image of a man who is chosen by others, or one who is waiting to be chosen? The difference is subtle, and everything. 6. Mystery. The fire that burns without smoke. One of the quickest ways to kill attraction is to hand someone the complete map of who you are, too soon. Mystery is not a game, it's an emotional stimulant. Humans are wired to be drawn to unanswered questions. That's why a cliffhanger keeps you watching a show late into the night, and why a story with missing pieces lingers in your mind. When you reveal your entire life story on the first few dates, you remove the thrill of discovery. Instead, offer your truth in layers. Share enough to connect, but hold back enough for her to wonder. Let her imagination work for you. The Stoic man doesn't hide in shadows. He simply doesn't put his whole soul on display at once. He lets his actions, glances, and half-finished sentences invite curiosity. A casual comment about a trip that changed everything without rushing into details leaves a hook in her mind. She'll want to know more, and that desire will keep her engaged. Ask yourself in your conversations, do you leave space for curiosity, or do you close every loop before she even asks? Attraction often grows in those open spaces, in the not yet and the tell me more. Mystery, handled with authenticity. Isn't about withholding. It's about pacing the story so that she keeps turning the pages. 7. Gentle leadership. Strength without noise. Most people think of leadership as loud, commanding, dominating, making every decision without listening. But quiet leadership is one of the most magnetic traits a man can have. Women may not openly admit it, but deep down, they want to feel they can lean into someone's steadiness when life gets messy. Not because they're incapable, but because being able to let go of control sometimes is a relief. A Stoic man leads without crushing her voice. He takes initiative in ways that bring clarity, not chaos. Saying, "I've made reservations for Saturday. Just be ready at 6 IST about control." It's about removing uncertainty. It's a signal that he can guide without bulldozing. Think about when life throws curveballs, a last-minute work issue, a sudden change of plans. Do you freeze, or do you calmly find a way forward? A Stoic doesn't need to bark orders. His presence says, "I've got this." This kind of leadership is rare because it requires self-control. You're not making decisions to feed your ego, but to create stability. And stability, when combined with emotional awareness, builds trust. She won't just follow you because she has to. She'll follow because she believes in you. The Stoic knows leadership isn't about ruling the ship alone. It's about steering it with enough confidence that everyone on board feels safe. 8. Make your attention a privilege. We live in a world drowning in attention. Social media notifications, constant texts, and endless likes have made recognition cheap. For many women, attention is no longer rare. It's an everyday flood. And what's common is rarely valued. This is why being the man who responds instantly to every message, who never lets a moment pass without checking in, quickly becomes predictable. And predictability dulls attraction. The Stoic approach is different. You give attention, but with intention. Not to play games, but because your life is full and you choose when to focus. When you respond, it's not out of habit. It's because the moment deserves it. Think of it like a fine wine. If you drink it every day without thought, it loses its specialness. But if it's saved for moments worth remembering, it becomes an event in itself. Your attention should feel the same way. Not scarce in a cold, punishing way, but selective in a way that says, "This means something." When your attention is earned, it becomes an emotional currency worth far more than the generic praise she gets from strangers online. And in a world full of noise, your rare, genuine signal will stand out. 9. Be the journey, not the trophy. Many men think they need to be perfect before they can attract the right woman. Polished, complete, every detail of life sorted. But perfection, while admirable, can become static. What truly engages someone is the sense of forward motion, watching someone grow, change, and strive. The Stoic man doesn't pretend to have it all figured out. Instead, he's on a path, learning a new skill, building a business, improving his health, or mastering his discipline. He's not asking her to fix him, but he's open enough to let her witness the climb. Why is this powerful? Because when someone invests emotionally in your journey, they become tied not just to who you are, but to who you're becoming. That shared sense of progress deepens the connection. You might say, "I've been working on public speaking. It scares me, but I'm getting better." Or, "I'm finally starting that project I've been thinking about for years." These aren't weaknesses, they're signs of movement. A trophy just sits there, waiting to be admired. A journey invites someone to walk alongside you. And the Stoic man knows that relationships are most alive when they're built on shared growth, not static perfection. 10. Claim power. Don't demand it. Too many men step into relationships carrying an invisible hunger. The need to be chosen. The quiet desperation for constant reassurance. They measure their worth by her words, her reactions, her attention, and every time she pulls back, their confidence crumbles. But here's the hard truth. If your sense of value depends on someone else's approval, you've already given away the center of your power. A Stoic moves differently. He is rooted, grounded, unshaken by shifts in mood or changes in attention. He does not hand over his emotional stability to another person, because he knows that what is truly his cannot be taken, unless he offers it up himself. Think of it like building a house. If the foundation rests on another person's opinion, every storm will shake it to pieces. But if it rests on your own principles, purpose, and self-respect, you can weather anything. This doesn't mean you shut out connection or refuse intimacy. It means you don't enter love like a beggar hoping for scraps. You enter as a man already full, not perfect, but complete in the sense that you know who you are and where you're going. And that direction is so compelling that the right person chooses to walk alongside you. You're not in competition for her validation because your life isn't a contest for approval. You're building something, a mission, a craft, a legacy. If she fits into that vision, great. If not, the mission continues. And here's the paradox. When you stop trying to prove your worth, people see it more clearly. When you no longer demand power, it begins to gravitate toward you. Power is never handed over freely. It's recognized, it's felt, it's claimed, quietly, through how you live. So ask yourself, are you showing up as the man who waits to be chosen, or as the man whose path is so strong that others want to join? One chases approval, the other attracts it without trying. The Stoic man chooses the second path. Because in love, as in life, the moment you stop asking for permission to be valuable is the moment you already are, claiming power without chasing. Now you've heard all 10 Stoic principles, from the ancient fear of exclusion to claiming power without demanding it. And maybe you've realized something. None of these are about manipulation. They're about self-mastery. A Stoic man doesn't give himself away carelessly. He understands that his presence, his words, his time, and his energy all carry weight. And when given with intention, they have far greater impact. The real shift happens when you stop chasing approval and start living in a way that naturally draws others in. When you can be both the anchor and the wave. When you live a life rich enough that you don't need someone to complete it, but deep enough to invite the right person to join you. In attraction, as in life, power is not granted to you. It's recognized in you. And once you recognize it in yourself, you stop needing to prove it. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Ancient Stoic Secrets and share this video with someone who's been giving too much, too soon. Because in love, as in every arena, the quiet man who masters himself will always outlast the loud man who chases.